See my lettuce still up, but it pushed down on the mold thing. Actually, that's Mother Nature's rototiller. It really doesn't hurt anything. It keeps the ground good, and everything didn't freeze. There's a double handful of hot peppers.
Hot peppers, eh?
Yeah, those are cayennes. They really were giant this year. Usually they grow smaller. It must have been a different variety because a pepper is one of the hardest things to grow, a plant from seed. And I try, but I hardly ever get one. I usually buy my plants for that. But the freeze got almost everything. We have tomatoes, green peppers, turnips, cucumbers, squash. We have kale, mustard greens, cucumbers, lettuce, and I planted some radishes, and they didn't do very good, but they're not one of our favorite things anyhow. And you can see it's pretty, the weeds need some work, and we put carpets down around the edges to keep the grass out, because if it's rainy, the weeds grow better than the garden. It might be mushy. Don't put your thumbs through it.
Don't know.
I would just give it a good toss.
At the compost pile or no?
Anywhere. Just toss.
Don't hit me.
Nope. No good.
I got a green one here.
No, okay.
Okay. I can't take anymore.
Okay.
I'm full.
Whatever you do with bad tomatoes, don't hit your gardener.
Yeah. What we have here is a 3 kilowatt solar array which produces enough power to pump water, run refrigeration, and computers when we don't have utility power. And we need to clean the grapes off of it again, the wild grapes. I remember buying a computer back in 1999. He wanted to sell me a UPS system. I said, buddy, I got the largest UPS system in the state. One of the things in doing my research, I realized that you have to be very careful in obtaining valid matter for the most holy sacrifice of the Mass. So we've learned how to make the bread and to make the wine. And since wine is a long process, it takes at least a year to make a decent quality wine. I've been making wine over the last 18 years, and I store it down over here in the wine cellar. Would you like to see? Now this is a bottle of simple altar wine. It's made from grapes bought down at the local grocery store, and because the sugar content of the table grapes is not quite sufficient for making wine, in the winemaking process you crush the grapes and add some raisins to bring the sugar content up so you have a stable wine. You make two kinds of wine: sacramental wine, which I store on this wall, and then on this other wall over here is just regular drinking wine. For instance, there's not much in here because of the drought. Some of the things I make wine out of aren't available. This here is mullein wine, made from a weed that grows around here. Also have some elderberry that's ready to be bottled, and will come down here over in this section. It's not much to look at, but this is where I make the wine, which we store over there and which someday we'll be using for Mass. You siphon it into the bottles up to right about here, and using the corker over here, put corks down into them, then you let them set upright for about 24 to 72 hours. Although I've never had it happen, the books say so if the fermentation hasn't stopped properly, you could blow a cork. So that's why you set them upright. Then you have to take the bottles and put them down into the cellar, and they have to be stored so that the wine touches the cork keeps the cork damp. Because as long as the cork stays damp, it'll stay solid against the neck of the bottle. If it dries out, air gets in, your wine turns to vinegar, and it's worthless for mass.